You're watching YouTube Worldwide. Beep, 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 beep.
Tonight's Kiss interview is with Paul Stanley, the lover. Check it out right now, right here on Super Saturday. Yeah, we'll be in the house. Tonight's special guest interview is the lovely Miss Rosie. Yeah!
Okay, everybody, let's get this show on the road! You big dummy!
Paul Stanley. Gene Simmons. Peter Criss. Ace Frehley. The Kiss albums, one by each of the four Kiss stars on Casablanca Records and Tapes.
Though the time apart seems endless, all my thoughts remain with you. I believe one day we'll make our dreams come true.
You've been performing as Kiss for so long. How did you first feel at the idea of performing on your own?
Well, I guess first there's a certain amount of trepidation. You know, you're a little scared about it because working in a group situation is actually kind of like being married, because you know your partner's moves after a while, and you're very secure within the world that you build up between the two of you or the four of you. In the case of the band, it's the four of us. So the idea of going out and playing with other people was pretty much a challenge. It was, I don't know, I looked to it as pretty exciting initially, because I get a chance to see just what I was capable of.
On this album, how easy is it to recognize the Paul Stanley we know and love?
Well, I guess tremendously. You know, what I wanted to do was be much more diverse in what I was doing on the album, at the same time not come across like I was selling out, or I was doing different types of music to show what I was capable of. That was the last thing I wanted to do with the record. You know, I didn't want people to get the idea I was trying to show I've matured, you know, because maturity is like a dangerous word. You know, what I wanted to do more was just do things that I've always done but never done on record, you know. So sing more, do some more melodic singing, which doesn't even mean soft singing. You know, it just means more emphasis on melody. And I don't know, I think I've done a lot, you know, to broaden my scope. And I think everybody that's ever been into us is going to enjoy it. But then on top of that, I think there's a whole new audience.
Who were the other musicians on your album?
Well, the one person that I've used on everything besides myself is Bob Kulick, who's been a friend of mine for about 6 years. Actually tried out for Kiss. And right now he's in Meatloaf, and he, before that, did a tour with Alice Cooper, and was in Lou Reed's group. He's a great guitar player, and I used him on everything. I used on a couple of cuts the bass player from Meatloaf, Steve Buslow, and on a couple of cuts I used Richie Fontana, who used to be in Piper. I used him on drums. On some other cuts, I used a guy, Eric Nelson, on bass, who plays with Nick Gilder now. And I used Craig Cramp, who's a drummer for Nick Gilder now. He used to be in Flo and Eddie. And before that, he was in the Robs. I used him on some stuff. And then on some other stuff. One track I had Carmine play on. And a friend of mine, Pepe Castro, sang with me on some of the stuff. Pepe was in the Blues Magoo, and he's doing some great stuff out here now in LA. And a friend of his, Doug Gling Katsaros, great name. He plays piano and sings on some stuff.
How did it feel to sit down with a new bunch of musicians?
Bob and I have been working together for about 5 or 6 years. I've been fooling around playing with Bob since I've known him. And he and I play very, very well together, so he knows exactly the way I think, so that was easy. Still to walk into a studio and see a whole different band than the guys I'm used to is very interesting, very strange at first. But more what I was looking for was people that were on the same wavelength as I was, so that without too much, talking, I could get them to play what I wanted. I didn't think I should sit down and tell anybody note for note what to play. I thought that I should be able to direct them, but that the ideas had to be similar to begin with. The musicians had to be thinking the same approach as I was. So it was actually very refreshing to work with different people. Very, very, very interesting. And I can only grow from things like that.
Do you think the Kiss sound will be changed after these individual efforts?
Well, at this point, until now, some of the guys have always been more involved in the production than others, just, for whatever reasons. But I think at this point, everybody's grown tremendously with their albums. And the really nice thing about it is that when the albums are all done and each of us hears the other, it's really a great way of saying, hey, this is what I'm about. This is the way I've always heard things, It's like really getting to know somebody even better than you do. So at that point, we can only respect each other that much more, because I don't think any of the albums are going to be a letdown. I think all of them are going to be wonderful albums.
Didn't you ever feel these albums could be a threat to Kiss as a whole?
Well, I think in a way we kept ourselves from getting into trouble. We kept ourselves from getting into trouble by letting ourselves do the solo albums. A lot of groups run into frustrations because they need to get away from each other. They need to create a little on their own. And not given that space to do it, things get a little, edgy, and we all just went off and did our thing. Granted, if one of us did it, like in any group, I think it's a different situation though with Kiss, because in most groups you don't have 4 strong personalities. So the guy that usually goes off and does the solo album in a group context is usually the main contributor anyway. So sure, the other guys feel, hey, he's leaving us, he's going to move out soon. Whereas with Kiss, we all contribute and we all have a lot to say. So we all just went off and did our albums. It doesn't really apply to most bands, because I don't know that the Joe Schmo group could go out and all guys do an album and they would sell. It doesn't quite apply. Kiss is an exception.
This is the first time I can remember a band doing solo albums without breaking up.
Yeah, that's why it was amazing for months, and even still now in some circles, people are talking about, hey, I know the band broke, the band's breaking up, or the band broke up. We've anything but broken up. It's like 6 years down the line now, and there's not that many groups around that have been together 6 years. you know, and sure, we go through changes and metamorphoses, and, you know, Kiss now is not what Kiss was in '73, but Kiss is a lot more knowledgeable. We've been through more, you know. I see Kiss becoming much more than a legend, where I want to become an institution, you know. I mean, we started this off broke in a one-room rehearsal loft with egg crates on the wall, and we've taken it this far, and I want to see it become exactly that. I want to see an institution.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Our next interview will be with Ace Frehley, the lead guitarist of Kiss. Thank you for coming. Good night.